Excellence Award. NBC's 2011 calendar was dotted with seismic events along the news landscape. The voices of the Arab Spring movement were in full throat. The world's most wanted man, Osama bin Laden, was killed. With comprehensive coverage of both international and national events, NBC kept viewers up to the minute with expert reporting and in-depth analysis.
They would accept nothing less than Mubarak's resignation. And tonight, after just 18 extraordinary days, they got it. The Egyptian people are free.
Many Egyptians never thought that they would live to see this day. This is certainly a turning point in this country. And Brian, it could be a turning point for the Middle East.
Richard Engel, along with his few closest friends there in Cairo, Egypt.
Some people have even expressed to me that it borders on genocide.
A third of sterilizations were ordered on girls under the age of 18, some as young as 9 years old.
It doesn't matter what you think I'm worth, it's what I think I'm worth.
Priceless. Yes, ma'am.
There's nothing that the state of North Carolina can do to justify what they did to me.
I say that I am innocent of those charges.
Innocent? Completely innocent and falsely accused in every aspect?
Well, I could say that, I have done some of those things. I have horsed around with kids.
And accepting the Overall Excellence Award for NBC News is President Steve Capus.
Thank you, Cammie. Thank you, everybody. It's truly an honor to be standing up here this evening to accept Overall Excellence for the 4th year in a row. Thought that was pretty good. In fact, it's a better batting average than my beloved Philadelphia Phillies have, until Harvey Nagler's team got up and talked about 6 for 6. So, okay. But this is the kind of recognition that it's not one that we take for granted, and nothing in this business should be taken for granted these days. Rather, this is the kind of success that we strive for every single day, from the moment we start planning a story until the audience sits in to watch it on the air. And the same thing in the newsrooms for NBC affiliates who are here tonight, represented so well as among the honorees. Our viewers have high expectations for NBC and our stations. That has been and always will be dedicated to meeting and hopefully exceeding those expectations. NBC News has been fortunate to experience incredible success and growth through the years, but now is not the time to be complacent in our business. We must always be evolving, improving, listening to what the audience needs, and we must be quick to react through our thoughtful analysis and informed reporting of the day. And it's okay to lead. It's okay to stand for something. That doesn't mean you have to be prejudiced, but be committed to something. Do something with the considerable resources at your disposal. This is indeed the pathway to success. At a time even when American ambassadors are not safe overseas, we'll evaluate how the world thinks of us and how this coming election will impact foreign relations and the conflicts abroad. And we'll uncover the missing voices and find a way to make them heard. We do it for our viewers. We owe it to them as well as to the future of our country and to our profession. If that profession is to mean anything going forward, we have to stand for something. While we're hard at work telling the story of the election, I'd like to take a minute, and I think you'll enjoy this part, to urge the candidates and the campaigns to do a better job of telling their own story. In this election cycle, we've seen the campaigns take advantage of and misrepresent journalists in their advertisements, pulling short sound bites, and in some cases taking that reporting out of context for the sake of driving a different message. NBC News has dealt with this issue with both candidates, and this has to stop. It's not fair for our journalists and producers, and it's not fair to our citizens, and it's just lazy. I know the campaigns want to be associated with Tom Brokaw and Andrea Mitchell and Brian Williams in their commercials, but let's be honest. That's good company, but those folks are journalists, and they do not endorse this message. Tonight, while I'm among all of my colleagues and acquaintances, I'd encourage all of you to join us in this effort to ask the campaigns to stop respectfully, Ask them to stop using news material in their advertising. Our profession deserves this kind of respect, even if we must advocate for it ourselves, because certainly none of the politicians will. So with an eye on domestic issues, including the election and the economy, and the other eye focused outside our borders, the Middle East and other regions continue to be increasingly complicated and more dangerous for journalists, for people like Cammie McCormick and Richard Engel you saw on that tape, and our colleagues Lara Logan. It's imperative that people who are there to cover these events and try to make sense of what's happening and where it's all going. But I'm humbled by the talented international teams we have at NBC News and from many of the organizations here tonight, who are brave journalists who put themselves in harm's way every single day, but continue their work thanks to the tireless dedication they have to telling these important stories, especially of those who serve our country with distinction. I'm honored to be here with the rest of tonight's honorees, and thank you for this great work and service to our profession and indeed for our country. Thank you also to RTDNA for supporting great journalism and continuing to advocate for freedom of speech. We are all fortunate to live in a place where we can practice our trade freely and largely without risk or danger, and we must continue to look out for those who do not share those same freedoms. Tonight, we're their voice. So I'd like to thank everybody again. Thank you for a great evening, and I'm headed to the chicken limousine now. Thank you so much.